Total R-vee shipments in May were the biggest on record, up 11.8%.
The R-vee market crash is worse than anyone imagined. This isn't a slowdown anymore, it's a collapse. Lots are overflowing, prices are sinking, and 9 major R-vee brands now face a survival deadline of 2026. If you own an R-vee, this could hit your resale value, warranty coverage, and future part support. If you're buying, some deals could turn into dead ends. Watch till the end. This one could hit your wallet. Jayco JFlight. You can tell when something dependable starts to lose its footing. Pull up to any Jayco dealer lot right now, and the rows of JFlight trailers make the story plain before a word is said. Stickers are curling. The red ink on discount tags bleeds through sun-faded paper. The price boards that once read $36,500 now show $29,800 written over the old numbers with a marker. It looks like a sale, but it smells like surrender. Here is the proof. Retail data pulled from multiple Midwestern dealerships shows JFlight units sitting an average of 119 days before sale, almost double the turnaround from 2021. That slowdown means financing costs pile up. Dealers pay what they call floor plan interest, basically rent, on each unsold rig. When a unit stays past 90 days, the interest alone can cross $840. Multiply that by every trailer on the lot, and you understand why those handwritten markdowns appear. So why did it happen? Jayco chased upgrades faster than its buyers' wallets could follow. They added touch panel lighting, digital thermostats, and composite fittings meant to look premium, but those features inflated costs. A JFlight that once hit drive-away pricing around $34,200 now lists near $51,000 depending on trim. That 15,000+ climb collided with higher lending rates, and the math broke. Families who used to qualify for an 8-year note now face double-digit percentages and walk away. Owners already holding one feel the pinch next. Used auction reports from Indiana show 2023 JFlights closing at roughly 60% of original invoice. That is not healthy depreciation, that is a market correction. What does it mean for anyone looking at these units today? The smart move is to verify build date and roof seal service history, then compare that offer to last quarter's wholesale averages. If the spread is under $5,000, it is not a deal, it is a delay. Up next, the so-called budget line, that inflation crushed beyond recognition proof that even the entry level can go underwater. Gulfstream, AmeriLite. Walk the back row of any small town dealership, and you will see it, the quiet graveyard of Gulfstream AmeriLite trailers waiting for buyers who no longer qualify. Once known as the honest, affordable weekend rig, the AmeriLite is now a mirror reflecting how inflation can flatten the bottom end of an industry built on optimism. In 2020, the base AmeriLite sold for roughly $22,900 out the door. By late 2024, that same model listed near $33,200. Material and shipping costs jumped more than 40%, and the savings consumers built during the lockdown years evaporated. The company tried to absorb the increase, but plywood, aluminum sheeting, and steel framing all doubled inside 18 months. The proof sits in supplier invoices reviewed from Elkhart County, showing sealant compounds that once cost $47 a gallon now invoiced at $94. When the brand pushed those expenses into retail pricing, its traditional buyer disappeared. The average loan rate on an entry-level towable climbed into the 9 to 11% range, turning that modest monthly payment into a budget breaker. Dealers now admit that for every 10 potential customers who fill out a credit application, barely 4 make it through approval. That statistic is not rumor. It is pulled directly from internal dealer surveys, verified in midsummer 2025. Used values tell the second half of the story. AmeriLite units built in 2023 are trading at wholesale for barely 65% of invoice. That is a faster decline than any other lightweight trailer segment. Some independent lots are refusing new allocations altogether, choosing to focus on pre-owned inventory that actually moves. The lesson is blunt. A rig once celebrated for simplicity got caught in the same cost spiral as its luxury cousins. For anyone tempted by the discount banners, remember this rule: if the asking price and the auction closing price are within $5,000, patience pays. Wait 30 days. Let the floor plan interest do the negotiating for you. Next, we move from budget stress progress to warranty chaos, the point where dealer fatigue meets manufacturing shortcuts and the cost of trust becomes measurable. If you've noticed the same red tags and empty lots at your local dealers, make sure you like this video and hit subscribe. Stay tuned here. We're tracking the truth others won't say and exposing what's really happening behind those price cuts. Coachman, Catalina. Every industry has a point where confidence turns into hesitation, and for many dealers, that moment arrived with the Coachman Catalina. Once the dependable middle child of the towable world, it now sits in showrooms that feel more like waiting rooms. Flags fade. Handwritten markdowns multiply. Salesmen pace between units whispering the same line. We can make a deal if you're ready today. The numbers tell why. Back in 2022, a Catalina Legacy Edition averaged just under $35,800. By 2025, invoices climbed to $46,900, pushed higher by supply costs that never truly corrected. During that same span, median household income rose less than 4%, while borrowing costs tripled. Floor plan interest, the monthly fee dealers pay for every unsold unit, now averages $1,120 per trailer after 3 months on the lot. Multiply that by 50 rigs, and you understand the panic in those red tags. Worse, the warranty department became a bottleneck. Service bulletins filed through Forest River's internal network reveal a spike in minor electrical and roof seal claims. Technicians describe overloaded queues stretching into weeks. When a customer waits 45 days for a parts authorization, word spreads faster than any advertisement. That noise drags resale down. Used Catalinas from 2023 now clear wholesale auctions around 68% of their original invoice, nearly 10 points lower than this time last year. The story is not about bad craftsmanship. It is about timing, overproduction, and patience stretched too thin. Dealers once begged for inventory. Now they beg for financing relief. The Catalina, caught between premium ambition and family budgets, became collateral in that struggle. For anyone eyeing one today, the rule is discipline. Ask for the build date, demand proof of roof resealing, and price it against last quarter's auction closings. If the difference is less than $5,000, it is better to wait one billing cycle. Floor plan pressure will do the discounting for you. Next, the scale shifts from mid-tier hesitation to full volume strain, where a household name learns that speed of production can become its greatest liability. Keystone Cougar. Momentum once defined the Keystone Cougar. For 2 decades, it was the poster child of middle-class adventure, a travel trailer built to hit every campground from Oregon to Maine without complaint. But in 2025, that momentum turned into weight. Too many units, too many incentives, and too few qualified buyers. The Cougar's strength was always scale. During the pandemic boom, Keystone pushed production above 130,000 units across all divisions. When the dust settled, demand fell by nearly half. By mid-2024, Cougar shipments were down close to 40%, and dealer yards began to look like parking lots at rest stops. Inventory data reviewed from regional distributors showed hundreds of unsold models sitting past the 90-day mark. Every one of those rigs carries a floor plan bill, often around $950 a month in interest alone. Multiply that across 100 units, and you are burning $95,000 before a single buyer signs. To keep cash moving, Keystone issued what insiders call velocity rebates. Dealers who moved older Cougars fast earned back-end credits, effectively subsidizing markdowns that reach $8,000 to $12,000 off sticker. A 2024 Cougar half-ton that once listed near $62,800 is now advertised for $49,900. On the surface, that looks like value. In truth, it is a controlled retreat. The used market adds more pressure. Auction platforms across the Midwest show late model Cougars closing at roughly 58% of invoice, and private party listings barely outperform that. Owners discover the depreciation curve is no longer a slope, it is a cliff. So what does a smart shopper do? Check the build date stamped on the VN plate. If it was produced before April of 2024, it is likely part of the overstock wave. Wait for the dealer's next finance cycle. Their need to clear space will save you more than any weekend sale ever could. Up next, we move from high volume to highway class ambition, the point where monthly payment shock starts rewriting the definition of freedom on wheels. Thor Thor Motorcoach, 4 wins. You know a brand has reached its breaking point when the same rigs that symbolized independence now sit lined up behind chain link fences, dust settling on their windshields. That is the scene playing out for the Thor Motorcoach, 4 wins. Once the dependable gateway to motorized travel, it is now a ledger entry dealers can barely afford to keep. 3 years ago, in 2022, a new 4 wins on a Ford E450 chassis retailed around $98,600. By mid-2025, that same coach lists closer to $126,500. The increase would be manageable if lending stayed gentle, but interest rates did not. The average recreational vehicle loan climbed from near 6% to over 10%, meaning a buyer now pays roughly $470 more every month for the same machine. Insurance costs climbed, with Class C premiums rising from about $900 to over $1,150 yearly. Dealers report cancellations as buyers withdraw before approval, each default leaving another motorhome accruing roughly $1,020 in quarterly floor plan interest. To clear space, Thor issued dealer incentives internal memos reference velocity allowances, essentially kickbacks for cutting prices fast. The visible result, internet listings showing $12,000 to $14,000 off sticker, often paired with fine print documentation fees that sneak half of it back. That shell game keeps revenue optics stable while buyers think they won. Meanwhile, depreciation runs faster than promotion. Auction reports out of Indiana show 2023 4 wins coaches selling near 62% of invoice. A unit that cost a family $110,000 now wholesales for $68,000 within 18 months. What does that mean in real money terms? It means the illusion of freedom on wheels comes with a balloon tethered to the bank. Anyone eyeing a 4 wins today should request the chassis build sheet, verify warranty start date, and above all, compare the offer to wholesale closing numbers before signing. Coming next, the focus shifts from everyday mobility to silver-skinned prestige, the symbol of American road luxury learning that even shine can lose its value under economic pressure. Airstream Flying Cloud. Under showroom lights, an Airstream Flying Cloud still gleams like a time capsule polished in chrome. Step closer though, and the reflection starts to tell a different truth. Those silver panels mirror a market stretched to its limit, where pride of ownership meets the pain of financing math that no longer works. In 2021, a Flying Cloud listed near $87,500. By 2025, it tops $126,900. That 40% surge, paired with doubled loan rates, adds roughly $370 monthly. Dealers confirm what the numbers already expose. Average days on lot for a new Flying Cloud exceeded 316 this spring, up from 132 just 2 years prior. Each unsold trailer accrues roughly $860 in floor plan charges every month. Multiply that across 30 unsold units and you burn more than $25,000 before even unlocking the gates. In response, stores now issue markdowns as dramatic as $14,000 to $18,000 price cuts that look heroic on paper, but only restore parity with 2019 values. Meanwhile, pre-owned Airstreams erode the illusion of exclusivity. Auction sheets from Indiana show 2023 Flying Clouds trading at 71% of invoice, a level once unthinkable for this brand. For potential owners, the math is straightforward but unforgiving. If your dealer's discount matches last quarter's auction results, you are not stealing value. You are absorbing depreciation early. Always verify weld seams, roof rivets, and axle alignment before assuming condition matches image. Airstream's reflection still shines, but beneath the polish lies the hum of overdue payments and aging optimism. And as that glow fades, the focus shifts towards something far heavier, a motorhome built on prestige diesel power, now gasping to keep its reputation alive under tightening credit and rising cost of ownership. If you want to stay ahead of the next wave of factory shutdowns and pricing shifts, subscribe now. Every week, we uncover verified data, leaked reports, and dealer proof before it hits the mainstream. Stay informed and protect your wallet. Fleetwood Bounder. There was a time when pulling into a campground behind the wheel of a Fleetwood Bounder meant something. It was proof you had made it. A rolling house built on pride, diesel torque, and American craftsmanship. But in 2025, the same symbol of freedom has become a test of endurance, not on the highway, but on the balance sheet. Fleetwood's legacy under Rev Group now faces cost inflation and hesitant buyers. In 2021, a Bounder cost about $270,000. 4 years later, it exceeds $354,800 as diesel chassis and insurance rose 31%. Service centers report a long longer tale of aging claims. Slide motors, leveling valves, and dash electronics are among the most frequent parts delays. Technicians in Decatur describe shelves half empty and orders backlogged for weeks. When a Class A coach costing over $300,000 sits immobile for a month, patience becomes paper thin. Warranty hold times now average 23 business days, double what they were before the pandemic peak. Dealers know it too. Wholesale data pulled from Midwest Auctions lists 2023. Bounders closing at roughly 58% of invoice, translating to resale hits approaching $140,000 lost within 2 seasons. That kind of slide makes even confident buyers second guess. Yet beneath the frustration lies the same enduring appeal: the layout, the power, the heritage. The Bounder's problem is not design, it is scale. Too many built when credit was cheap, too few qualified buyers left when rates turned unfriendly. Anyone considering one today should treat price as step one, not proof of value. Verify service capacity, parts availability, and warranty transferability before signing. If a dealer cannot guarantee a repair slot inside 30 days, the discount will cost more than it saves. Next, we head toward the empire itself, the parent company whose weight supports half the industry and whose balance sheet may determine how far this collapse spreads. Forest River, Cherokee. Walk any dealer yard across the Midwest, and you will notice a pattern rows of Forest River Cherokee trailers stretching longer than the buyers waiting for them. The name once meant variety and value. Today, that same variety has become the brand's heaviest burden. Under the Berkshire Hathaway umbrella, Forest River built its empire on scale. Dozens of sublines, endless trim packages, and overlapping price points were meant to cover every family, every budget, every dream. It worked when credit was cheap. In 2021, Cherokee units rolled out as fast as factories could stamp the VIN plates. But by 2025, the flood of models created a logjam no discount could unclog. Dealer reports show Cherokee units sitting an average of 193 days unsold, more than twice pre-boom levels. Floor plan costs near $960 monthly per trailer, so 40 idle rigs burn over $38,000 before selling. Prices tell their own story. A 2024 Cherokee Alpha Wolf, listed for $43,700 in January, now shows internet pricing around $36,900. That cut is not generosity, it is survival. Meanwhile, used 2023 Cherokees are clearing wholesale auctions near 64% of invoice, leaving both the manufacturer and the dealer underwater. The core issue is overlap. Forest River built too many trims, chasing every corner of the market. When buyer confidence cooled, those trims began cannibalizing one another. Dealers now beg corporate to consolidate product lines just to breathe again. For anyone tempted by the markdowns, caution is simple math. If 2 Cherokees of similar length differ by less than $3,000, negotiate them against each other. Let the dealer's own overstock fight on your behalf. And from this forest of excess, we climb toward the final peak. The corporate giant whose heartbeat echoes through every factory in Elkhart, and whose balance sheet may decide which brands even survive the next storm. Rev Group. American Coach Eagle. Every market crash has its symbol, a product so bold, so confident that its fall defines the cycle. In the world of luxury motorhomes, that symbol is the American Coach Eagle. What was once a rolling penthouse now sits as the heaviest liability in the entire Class A segment. Built under the Rev Group, the Eagle has carried the image of American road prestige for more than 3 decades. Yet prestige cannot outrun arithmetic. In 2021, a new Eagle listed for around $690,000. By mid-2025, that number pushed north of $825,000 before tax and delivery. At first glance, the rise looks like progress. In reality, it hides the same debt spiral, suffocating every high-end manufacturer. Corporate filings show Rev's recreational vehicle division running below 40% capacity. Vendors confirm delayed payments, with some suppliers halting shipments. Each unfinished coach in Decatur ties up nearly $60,000, and multiplied by 50 units, that frozen capital becomes financially catastrophic. Dealers on the front line feel it most. Floor plan interest on a single Eagle runs close to $2,400 a month. Keep 3 unsold coaches on site through 1 slow quarter and the profit margin is gone. To stay afloat, dealers are posting markdowns as steep as $75,000, hoping to break even before the next billing cycle. Resale performance paints the final warning. Auction data from Indiana shows 2,023 Eagles, clearing at barely 56% of original invoice. One coach Motorcoach that cost $750,000, sold at wholesale for $419,000 after just 16 months. The lesson is sharp but clear. When the foundation wobbles at the top, the shock travels down the entire tower. The Eagle's fall is not about luxury lost. It is about gravity reclaiming excess. This crash affects every RV owner and buyer. I want to hear from you. Will these brands make it to 2026? Drop a comment. If this helped, hit like and subscribe. We're tracking this collapse in real time.